I'm just doing live also. Just a second. Right. So, prayer. Somebody wants to do the prayer today? Anyone? Okay. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. So here we are again in the 9th chapter of the Gita, which is called the Rajavidya, Rajaguhya Yoga. It might seem that we have been going on in this chapter for a long time. It feels like that. But it is said that one can never finish the study of the Gita. So if anybody asks, have you finished so many chapters? You should know, it's going on. Even if we finish all the 700 verses, we begin again. That's the whole thing. Chalta rahega. It's a continuous, it's a process because there is no end to it. It's a lifetime. It's a practice for a lifetime. So there can't be any end to this. Okay. So the more we listen, the more we absorb, and the greater pleasure we get. So last week, the last class, we were dwelling on this particular shloka, which is Yat karoshi, yat juhosi, yat dashnasi. Do you remember that? Such a beautiful shloka. Just revisit that fast and then come back to the present one. So we did this most beautiful shloka, which is for what we call the lazy devotee or the devotee who's too busy. Either, you can look at it either way. If I don't have time for patram, pushpam, toyam, even that little bit of dedication I do not have to Krishna, he says, Yat karoshi, yad ashnasi, yad juhoshi, dadati yat, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva mad arpanam. Whatever you do, karoshi, ashnasi, you eat. Ashnasi is not just eating, it's all about what you consume with your senses, the 5 sense organs. Smell, taste, touch. All that is ashnasi, because all that is being consumed. And all that is being digested also. It's not just the food that we digest. Whatever we consume from the senses, they are all digested by, by what is it being digested? Any idea? It's being digested by the prana. That is why it is called the pancha prana. The prana is not just about breathing. The prana has 5 functions. It is prana, udana, apana, vyana, samana, isn't it? If we are aware of it. So all these various pranas, the functions of the pranas is to digest, is to assimilate whatever ashnasi, whatever you consume from the world. And this prana keeps the emotions in check and the feelings and emotions, the thoughts in check. That is why when the udana prana is the one which takes care of the upper portion, the brain and other portions of the body. So when this udana prana is disturbed, the mind is also disturbed and people go into coma and all that because the udana is not working properly. The digestion in the body is disturbed when the emotions are not digested properly by the udana prana. The digestion is disturbed, and the digestion is maintained by the samana prana. Everything is connected. So yadashnasi, whatever you consume from the world, offer it to me as an oblation to the sacred fire. Everything is a yajna that we have seen several times through the Gita. The Lord has specified that whatever it is, that is all, do it with the bhava of yajna. It's all a yajna which is happening. What is the meaning of a yajna? It's not just putting things in the fire. Yajna means I am not in control. Everything is being taken care of by nature, by God, by Prakriti. Tell me what am I in charge of? There is no volition at all. Whatever that really matters is I'm not in control. Thank God. If I decide, I will not breathe for 5 minutes, gone, finish. Or if I decide I'll breathe like 200 times a minute, gone. It's impossible. Fortunately for us, all the things that matter, nature, the sun, moon, star, sky, galaxy, the microcosm as well as the macrocosm, it is not in our control. That is yajna. Why? Because it's happening according to Dharma. It's happening according to the laws of Paramatma, laws of Brahman, laws of Ishvara. So only when in my little mind something goes wrong, that's the only adharma. The only adharma is I don't recognize the yajna that is happening all the time in and around me. Okay. So yad ashnasi, yad juhosi, whatever you bestow as a gift, whatever dana dharma I do, whatever service I do, seva I do, that is also part of the yajna. The sun, the moon, and the stars, and the wind, and the water, they don't think of, they're offering me, oh, I'm blowing air, so give me something back. No, it is just being done as a yajna. So whatever I do should also be a yajna, as a gift. And whatever austerities I perform, like whatever tapas or this class, satsang, all that has to be offered to Krishna. Tat kurushva madarpanam. Krishnarpanamastu, Brahmarpanamastu. All that has to be continuously in our consciousness. Anything else you want to share about this? Yeah, this is as far as karma is concerned, karma yoga is concerned. I'm doing something, so do it as a yajna. So we also touch lightly upon how it is when it comes to jnana, what is the shift in awareness that has to happen? We have to shift from how I'm doing it to who is doing it. You see, that's a huge but subtle jump. Jump from doership to witnessing. Who is doing it? That is the Atma Vichara Marga. That is the Marga given by Advaita Vedanta. Examine who is doing it. Is it the body? Is it my body which is doing it? Is it my mind which is doing it? If it is, then am I the body? Am I the mind? That is the Vichara Dhara that has to go on. Am I the body? I can't be, because the body is changing all the time. But I, as the witness, am always there. Is it my mind which is doing it? And am I the mind? No, I am not. The mind changes. 1,000 times a day, the mind changes. But I, as the awareness behind the mind, am noting all the changes. Therefore, I am not the body. Therefore, I am not the mind. Therefore, I am not the intellect. So who is doing it? The only answer is, for every answer in this Vedanta, for every answer of who is, only Bhagwan. There's only one answer. Who means Bhagwan. Finish. That is the beginning and the end. Okay. So that has to go on parallelly along with Karma Yoga. The Jnana Yoga has to go step by step with Karma Yoga. Body consciousness is there. Along with it, use the body, means it's a complex. Body, mind, intellect complex. BMI complex. Use the same BMI complex to go back to the source. Okay, Sanvi? Okay. All right. So what happens then if we are always in this awareness? Everything becomes a prayer. The whole life is turned into a prayer. It's a beautiful shloka which gives a formula of what happens when I do whatever God is asking me to do. Give everything to this one. Okay. So in the next verse, which we are not covering actually, but it says, Krishna says to such a devotee, yadashnasi, yadjuhosi, that you give it to me, to such a devotee, that devotee will be free from karma bandhana. Free from karma bandhana. Wow. Shubha ashubha phalani mokshase, he says. I will release such a person from the phala of shubha and ashubha. Punya and papa. You can't say, no, I want to hold on to punya. He said, no, even the golden shackles are shackles ultimately. You will have to come back again to enjoy the punya karma. And then again what? The same chakkar will carry on. So this is the ultimate blessing that Krishna is giving. See, throughout the Gita, Krishna makes a lot of blessings, a lot of promises. So beautiful. We just have to be alert. So many promises he's making. He says, Shubha Shubha Phalani Mokshase. I will release you from both Punya and Papa Karma so that you don't have to come back to this treadmill again. Because once you realize that only Krishna is the doer, finish. Where is the, there is no, see, all the karma para comes with the feeling of doership, with the ownership. I am doing something. That ownership is negated, then there is no problem at all. Again, I'll be, if the ownership is negated, I will become part of the whole system, dharma. I'll also be like the stars and the sun and the water and the sky and the moon and just go on doing the job, spontaneously. That's the beauty of this knowledge. Okay. Okay. Such a person, Krishna calls them as a sannyasi. Sannyasa yoga yukta atma, he calls. What is the sannyasi? A sannyasi, many definitions can be given for a sannyasi, but here the definition we can give is sannyasi is one who has no ahankara and mamakara. What is the difference between ahankara and mamakara? Anyone? What's the difference between ahankara and mamakara? Please, anyone can unmute and talk. Not a problem.
Aham is, I'm just guessing.
Yeah,
Aham is probably me and mama is mine.
Correct. Simple. Ahankara is me. Nano. I am the doer. I did this. I did that. I don't want to do. I like this. I don't like this. Wherever you say I, referring to the small I, your lower self, not the higher self. The higher self is also called I, which is Bhagwan. The lower self is also, which most of the times we use the lower self as I. That is ahankara, like Sneha says. Mamakara is mine. This is mine. My family, my society, my children, all that is mamakara. So a sannyasa yukta yoga atma is one who has no ahankara, no mamakara. Everything is Bhagavan. Okay, that sense of I is completely annihilated. Okay. So even to listen to these things is, it's elevating. Maybe even if I can't get there right now, sometime. Okay. So now we come to 9.29. What do we have in 9.29? This is often a question because throughout the Gita, Krishna keeps telling, be my devotee, surrender to me. I will do this, I will do that. Only if you surrender, not in so many words, but it's implied, isn't it? If you surrender to me, if you are my ananya-bhakta, then there are a lot of caveats that Krishna gives. Only if you surrender to me unconditionally, I will moksha, I will take you beda par, I will do this, I will do that. That is only reserved for the bhaktas who are ananya-bhaktas. Is that fair? Is that fair? One can feel that, it's not fair. There are so many, he only created the whole world. And yet he is giving so many rules and regulations about to whom he will bless, whom he will not bless. So one can feel that it's not a fair deal. And therefore, Krishna himself is aware of this. And he will also put the question on our behalf and he will answer. He's saying, we can all chant one by one. Samoham sarva-bhūteṣhu na me dveṣhosti na priyaḥ ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mayi teṣhu chāpyaham. Yes, who wants to chant first? We can do quarter also for people who want to.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Samoham sarva-bhūteṣhu na me dveṣhosti na priyaḥ ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mayi teṣhu chāpyaham.
Very beautiful. Anyone next?
Samoham sarva-bhūteṣhu na me dveṣyosti na priyaḥ ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mayi teṣhu chāpyaham.
Very nice. Okay. Sneha? Okay.
Purnima, sorry, I need some more time.
Aithe. Shweta, you can chant. Quarter, we will go with small bits. Shweta,
Yes.
my dear.
Yes, yes.
Samoham sarva-bhūteṣhu
Samoham sarva-bhūteṣu
na me dveṣhosti na priyaḥ
namo dvesho stina priyaḥ.
na me dveshah asti na priyaḥ.
Can you just
Ne name dveshah
Name dveshah
asti
asti
na priyaḥ.
na priyaḥ.
Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya
Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya
mayi teṣhu chāpyaham.
mahitu teshu mahite teshu chāpyaham.
chāpyaham. Great. Padmaja, can you?
Samoham sarva-bhūteṣhu na me dveṣyosti na priyaḥ ye bhajanti tu ma bhaktya mayi teṣhu chāpyaham.
Very nice. Suma, Jayashri, Pragati.
Yeah, I can go next.
All right.
Yeah. Samoham sarva-bhūteṣu na me dveṣyosti na priyaḥ ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mayi teṣhu chāpyaham.
Good. Very nice, Suma.
Thank you.
Samoham sarva-bhūteṣhu na me dveṣyosti na priyaḥ ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mayi teṣhu chāpyaham.
Excellent. Okay.
Samoham sarva-bhūteṣhu na me dveṣyosti na priyaḥ ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mayi teṣhu chāpyaham.
Jayashri Prasad, are you there? Okay. All right. I think that's it. So what Bhagavan is saying here, I am equally disposed to all living beings. Samoham sarva-bhūteṣhu. Bhuta means what now? I hope you are all clear. Bhutas means us, living beings. Bhutani means us. Samoham, I am equally disposed, samaha, to all living beings. Name dveshah asti, I am not inimical. I don't have enmity towards anyone. Na priyaḥ, nor am I very partial to anyone. I am not very close to someone or whether I am far away. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. Again he comes. But the devotees who worship me, bhaktya, with bhakti, with love, mayi teṣhu chāpyaham. Mayi, I will be in them and they will be in me. Again he comes back to the same theme. Same thing he's saying again and again. But I'm in them who love me unconditionally and they will be in me. What is this? Jayshree, are you here? You want to chant?
Yes, I'll try now.
Helama.
Sarva-bhūteṣhu name dveṣhastiti na priyaḥ.
Name dveṣhah asti na priyaḥ.
Name dveṣhah asti na priyaḥ. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhavatyā.
Yeah.
Mayi teṣhu chāpyaham.
Very good. Okay.
Thank you.
So anyone wants to share thoughts on this shloka? Then we'll unpack it, all of us together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here we can take the example of sunlight. Sunlight falls on everything. There's no difference for the sun to fall on this or that. But images we see, there is a difference. Like in a dark, plain paper, it doesn't reflect much.
Correct.
But in a shining glass or mirror, it shines so much. So it is not the fault of sun. It is the position of the things.
Correct. Very
Likewise, the person who realizes the self, he knows he has, with the devotion and bhakti, he can realize the God better. So God always leaves him. That realization should come to the person. God is there. That's what I understand.
Beautiful. That is the essence. You have got it perfectly right. Very well said. Very nice. Any more inputs on this? Chanagi heladri. Correct. That's the essence. Samaha. Samoham sarva-bhūteṣhu means in everyone I am the same. There is no less God and more God in some people, He is there everywhere in equal measure. No less or more Ishvara in people. Yes, the awareness of Ishvara in me can be different from the next person. The difference is in the awareness, not in the quantity. Right? So awareness may be less. Name dveṣhah asti na priyaḥ. Why? Ishvara is free of raga dvesha. How can we attribute? Though he keeps on saying, he is I love my devotee, I love the jnani, I love my bhakta. But he's literally speaking, he's speaking honestly, he's free of raga dvesha. As an avatara, as a human being on earth, Krishna is saying such things. Otherwise, Saguna Brahma can say such things. But Nirguna Brahma, nothing. Even Saguna Brahma will say it just for the sake of communication. But actually speaking, he has no raga dvesha. Like Ramamani ji said, the sun has no raga dvesha. It will not say, I will shine more here and I will shine less there because this is a papi and that is a, punyatma. No, nothing of that sort. Nature has no raga dvesha. So God also has no raga dvesha. However, so he is free of raga dvesha. There's only he. Why does God have no raga dvesha? Why? Anyone, any thoughts? Why does God have no raga dvesha? Yatakappa. Why do you think he has no raga dvesha? Anyone? Come on.
He treats everybody equally.
Ade, why anta? Why? I mean, there must be some quality which will make you treat everyone equally.
He has no ego. He has no ego.
Correct. Agreed. No raga dvesha means no ego. Right.
He He is the cause for production of all bhutas. So he is creating all. So he doesn't differentiate among his creations.
Perfect. Correct. Correct.
Like for a mother, all her children would be the same. For God, everyone is the same.
Very good. Very correct. All of you are correct.
For him, everything is his manifestation.
There you are. Everything is his manifestation. He is like a mother. He created everything, which boils down to one crucial expression. I'm at an advantage because I know what it is.
He is Atma Swarupi and he looks at everybody as Atma Swarupam, universal consciousness.
Universal consciousness. Very correct. Perfectly said. All of you have put it in the perfect manner. Everything is him only. That's the thing. We close the gap. He is not looking at everything. It is he himself. He is you, he is me, he is the tree, and he is the ant, and he is the elephant, and he is the cosmos. Anoraniyana mahato mahiyana. There is nothing other than himself everywhere. So whom will he hate? Isn't it? The first shloka of Ishavasya Upanishad says, Ishavasyamidam sarvam. Okay, everything is Isha only. Idam sarvam, everything that I see and can't see, the manifest and the unmanifest, everything is Isha, everything is Ishvara. If everything is myself, whom will I hate? That is the thing. Okay, so that's the crux of the matter. He has no dveṣhyo, he has no raga, because everything is myself. That's all. There's only me. So whom should I cannot cut my nose to spite my face. So there is no this thing of hating anyone. But he says, ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. So the classical example, Ramamaniji gave a beautiful example, the sun. If you don't open the doors and windows of your home, even though it is light 24 hours, you will not get the light inside you. I have to open my mind and heart to allow the Ishvara to reflect in me. Beautifully said. And the classical example given in Vedanta to express this is by Adi Shankara in the Shankara Bhasha. It is given on a cold evening. Okay, those days, olden days, when sannyasis used to live in the forest, I guess it's very cold. And there at the distance, there's a bonfire happening. So you can choose to go near the bonfire and warm yourself, or you can sit far away and shiver in the cold. That is the example this Shankara gives. The fire is impartial. It will warm anyone who will come to it. The sun is impartial, the water is impartial, the rain is impartial. But it is me. So the grace is upon all of us. But we need to be open to the blessings. That's all. The doors of heaven. What happens on Vaikuntha Ekadasi? What is the metaphor? The doors of Vaikuntha are open. How many of us walk through it? It's open to all. Sinners, saints, everyone. It is papis and punyatmas. Everyone is open. How many will walk through it? So God is impartial. So the first step I have to take, and the God will take the rest of the steps. Mayi teṣhu chāpyaham. The God says, I'll be in him and he will be in me. The bhaktā will be in me and I'll be in the bhaktā. That means the gap has closed. The gap between Ishvara and Jiva has closed. That is the purpose of human life. The desire for this merger, however, has to come from the Jiva. That is the only free will we are left with. God has given us that free will. The hardest one he has given us. For the rest of it, it is all Ishvara. But at the level of the Jiva, the free will is to come here, log in at 7 o'clock and sit and listen to his words. That is the free will that God has given. The desire for merger, that mumukshatva, has to come from the Jiva. Okay. That is about this shloka. Anything else? Any questions on this? Okay. Then we can go to 30.
Purnima, on
Here.
one question, always I have the doubt.
Hmm.
See, here we say that just it is a realization of God in us. That, but there are people who never believe in God. Never believe in science. They think always scientifically.
Okay.
They never trust in God is making all this.
Correct.
But for them, even all work, they are successful.
Correct.
How is it?
Work, Kanta. They have a
This
lot
question.
of they have
Always.
a lot punya karma with them, no? See, even scientists or people who are contributing to society without believing in the God in a very scientific manner there, and they do social service, they do seva, they feel for the poor. They do everything because their hearts are pure and they have their intellects are sharp and they have a desire to serve society. That means they have got a lot of punya karma. See, when we are born, we are Enappa?
Karma yogis.
They are karma yogis, but you can't call it yogi, Padmaja. A yogi is one who does it with a spirit of surrender. They are karmis. They very much take the ownership. They very much say, I did it. And they want to have a patent to their discovery. They want to have their name on the medicine that they discovered or whatever it is. They are karmis, not karma yogis. They work very hard and with the good intention also. But because when we are born on earth, we come with a credit and debit notes. We have a lot of punya and then we have little papa also. So with this, when we are born with this punya, we do a lot of good things to society. But such people, because of their pure heart and their idu, they will naturally move towards, if not in this life, later. See, God is not in a hurry. For him, the time doesn't exist. Time is only for Jiva. He said, okay, you will come back to me, don't worry. If not now, next life. So, for such people who have been, like Ramamani ji described, in this life doing a lot of atheists, so to speak, naturally in the next life, they'll be born in such a condition, such an environment, such a family, that their minds will turn towards surrender and God. That is guaranteed. No problem. And they'll be born in a very beautiful conditions in the next life. Because that is the law. And God will make it happen. If not now, tomorrow.
Purnima
So,
ji,
Bahuna, Helama. Yes, Kamala.
in one shloka, we have that everybody dwells upon me, but I don't dwell upon everybody. He's telling no. So here he is giving the answer that I will be dwelling upon all the devotees. So that is the
always he talks in contradictions, isn't it? So at two levels, always Krishna is speaking. One is at the level of jnana and one is at the level of a bhakta. He is catering to all the denominations. Some of us here are bhaktas, are more inclined towards bhakti. Some of us are more inclined towards jnana. For Krishna, jnana and bhakti are one and the same. For us, it makes a difference. When he says, I am, everyone is in me, but I am not in everyone, he is talking at the level of jnana. The best example is water and wave. Is the water in wave or is the wave in water? Is the wave in water or is the water has become a wave? Something like that. You have to go back to that example. See, for the water, it doesn't matter if there's a wave or not. It is perfectly all right being still. The wave rises and sets in God. So you cannot say that God is, has... okay, I'm lost now. Can somebody explain what I'm trying to say? The wave is not exactly dependent. The water is not dependent on the wave. That is what
you can say ocean and wave.
Ocean and wave.
Correct.
Water and wave, ocean and wave. So ocean is perfectly happy being still. So, okay, the wood and the the table. Is the table in the wood or is in the wood in the table? for the wood, it doesn't matter. It can be a table, it can be a spoon, it can be a cot, it can just be a tree. It doesn't matter. Isn't it? Like that, God can say, nothing is in me. I'm not in anything, but everything is in me, in that sense. So depending on what he's saying, which denomination he's addressing, we have to interpret the sentences, the shlokas. I hope, to some level that this is addressed. Otherwise, we'll ask Prabhuji and we'll come back with a more rounded, proper answer to this. Kamala. 9.30. Api chet su-durāchāro bhajate mam ananya-bhāk sādhureva mantavyaḥ samyag vyavasito hi saha. Okay, who wants to chant? Anyone?
Api chet su-durāchāro bhajate mam ananya-bhāk sādhureva mantavyaḥ samyag vyavasito hi saha.
Yes. Amele?
Yeah, I can go.
Yeah.
Api chet su-durāchāro bhajante mam ananya-bhāk sādhureva mantavyaḥ samyag vyavasito hi saha.
Yes.
Okay, can I go?
Please.
Api chet su-durāchāro bhajate mam ananya-bhāk sādhureva mantavyaḥ samyak vyavasito hi saha.
Yes, vyavasito hi saha. Correct.
Api chet su-durāchāro bhajate mam ananya-bhāk sādhureva mantavyaḥ samyag vyavasito hi saha.
Very good.
अपि चेत् सुदुराचारो भजते मामनन्यभाक् साधुरेव स मन्तव्यः सम्यक् व्यवसितो हि सः.
Very good.
Api chetu su-durāchāro bhajate mam ananya-bhāk sādhureva mantavyaḥ samyag vyavasito hi saha.
Vyavasito hi saha. Okay.
Api chet su-durāchāro bhajate mam ananya-bhāk sādhureva mantavyaḥ samyag vyavasito hi saha.
Nice. Yaridare. Shweta, you want to chant?
Yes, I'll repeat after you, Punnimaji.
Api chet su-durāchāro
Api chestu durāchāro
bhajate mam ananya-bhāk
ananya-bhāk
sādhureva sa mantavyaḥ samyag vyavasito hi saha. Vyavasito hi
saha.
Okay. Even if the vilest sinners worship me with exclusive devotion, they are to be considered righteous because they have made the proper resolve. So this is another promise. One more promise God has come up with. What does it? The major message in this shloka is, most of us are full of guilt all the time. Not all the time. several times in a day. You know, even though I tell myself I shouldn't be angry, I shouldn't retort, I should always respond, I shouldn't react, you know. We make all those sankalpas, yet in the heat of the moment, we get carried away, isn't it? You feel you snap at someone. At our level, you know, we are punyatmas only, but still on a day-to-day basis, I cannot say that my conduct is entirely exemplary all the time. Maybe I'll say something nasty to someone, even at the surface level. In that moment, I mean it. Later, I'll feel very guilty. I'm a sadhaka, I'm a seeker of God, I'm a Krishna bhakte. How can I do this? I should always be aware. That guilt is always a part of this bhakta business. I always feel I have cheated Krishna by not following his instructions. Yes or no? Isn't it? It is a continuous manthana that's happening within me, which is correct, which is the way to go ahead, because I do something and at least the awareness follows behind, a few steps behind, a few hours behind, which is perfectly all right. But along with the awareness, the guilt also follows. For such people here, God is saying, don't worry, it's fine. And you are not the vilest sinner. He's saying even the vilest sinner, if that such person, you know, worships me with exclusive devotion, I'll consider him as a righteous person. The moment you correct yourself, you are back on track, is what Krishna is saying. You have made the proper decision, you have the right awareness, you are back on track, and then I'm going to protect you. Isn't it? Any thoughts on this, apart from this?
See, there is one more step.
Yeah.
Even though people are very bad in the beginning and all, if their interest is to serve people, God will help to come in his way.
Correct.
See, there is an example for this.
Yeah.
Our Thirumangai he was a dacoit.
Yeah. Oh.
He was looting people to give food to thousands of people. See, those who come in the way, he would attack them, take the money from them to spend on serving food.
Okay.
So God came in the form of an ordinary person with all jewels on his head to toe. So this Thirumangai thought, oh, some person is coming with lot of wealth. I should attack him. Then he took away all the jewels. So lastly, he has a kadaga in his ankle. So this Thirumangai went to remove that with the hand. He could not. What he did, he put his teeth with the mouth. He wanted to remove that screw. Once when he touched the feet of God,
oh, beautiful.
Immediately some brainstorming thinking came to his mind. See, he was totally transformed. He realized something special in him. He's not an ordinary person. So then he realized that he doing sin, so much sin, and God came to help him. Like that, in a moment, he gave away all his sins.
Yes.
And he turned to be an alvar, giving all the preachers, writing. He has written 1102 shlokas on God, saying about his sins, what he did, and preaching people how you should be devoted to the God.
Lovely.
It is the best example that even sinner can be turned to a bhakta of God.
Beautiful.
Very beautiful story. Very
Very
nice.
Tumba chanagittu. And the similar story is of Purandaradasa, isn't it? He was also a very, very rich, prosperous businessman, and he was a miser to the core. Alva?
Yes.
Story of Purandara is also the same. For him, it was the one sentence by his wife which completely changed his life. Can you hear story? Sneha, do you remember?
I'm not exactly aware, but yeah, grossly.
Even I don't know the exact details, but what happens is he is extremely in love with his beautiful wife. And once the wife has gone to Tavarmane, she has gone to Mayi, and he misses her so much. And so in the night, he goes to her village, and you should remember those days, transport was not, it was a big deal. So he had to walk or whatever, and he had to cross rivers and all such things in the night, middle of the night. And she is in the first or second floor. And because they are all wealthy people, remember, he was very, very, very extremely rich. He was a rich trader. And so he climbs. He didn't want to disturb the household, and he would be ashamed also if people come to know that he is visiting his wife in the middle of the night. So he climbs from outside, and he reaches the window on the second floor, and he gets into her room. The wife is shocked. Instead of being thrilled to see her husband, on the contrary, she is shocked, and she is ashamed, and she is angry. And she tells him, "So much trouble you have come to see me. See this body made of flesh and blood. If only you had given that kind of effort to find God, you'd be an enlightened man," she told him. Bas, that one sentence was enough to transform Purandara. It transformed this fellow into Purandara Dasa. And we know what is Purandara Dasa done.
Yeah. No,
Isn't
it is
it
other
the
way.
story for
Other
Tulsidas
way.
also?
Yeah. One nimsha.
It's the
Tulsidas
other
also
way.
the same story, no?
Tulsidas also same story, na?
Tulsidas also, I heard the same story. He says, if you have shown this love to God, you would have. So that's why he turned into, Tulsidas, writing all this.
Okay, this is Tulsidas story. Purandara story, Muguti story is there about. Okay,
No, that may be Kanakadasa actually. The Muguti story.
Muguti story is Kanakadasa.
Is it Tulsidas? I don't know. Yes, it is Tulsidas story. If you read it carefully, Tulsidas, one wife says, he climbed the floor and all that. So Tulsidas wife says all this.
Wonderful.
Actually, Purandara Dasa.
Yeah, Purandara Dasa, there is some other thing. See,
Other
God
story.
goes in the form of a Brahmin.
Oh, some Muguti story is there. Purandara Dasa, the Muguti story.
Place. So he doesn't have anything to eat. And this one, Purandara Dasa's wife, she's so kind. She didn't know what to do. She gives her Muguti to the Brahmin and goes back. When Purandara Dasa comes home,
correct.
That Muguti is not there. Why did you give him? She says she starts crying and all. Because before that, the Brahmin would go to this Purandara Dasa's place to give that away, take money to sell that Muguti. Then he gets a doubt that this is my wife's. How did he get it? He must have stolen what my wife did. He immediately goes to his wife and says, it was not there. Something happened. She wants to commit suicide. She puts that Muguti in that. Then he goes and says, "This is the same Muguti. How this Brahmin got it?" Then he realizes this Brahmin is nobody other than God. Likewise, he becomes a Dasa of God.
Yes.
Also, before that, this incident happens, right? Before that, one more life transforming incident happens in Srinivasa Nayaka's life. His very, very, very close friend, he will be very sick and very poor also. So Purandara refuses to shell out even 1 anna to help him.
Okay.
Post that he dies. that friend.
Friend dies. Okay.
So that also starts, that thing just, it dawns onto him, Salpa. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದಾಗತ್ತೆ.
Life lessons.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So thank you,
ಪುರಂದರದಾಸ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಡು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಆದದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಳಿತೇ ಆಯಿತು, ನಮ್ಮ ಶ್ರೀಧರನ ಸೇವೆಗೆ ಸಾಧನ ಸಂಪತ್ತಾಯಿತು ಅಂತ.
Very correct. So ಆ second line is very important. ಆಗಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಳ್ತೆ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೋಬಾರ್ದು. ಶ್ರೀಧರನ ಸೇವೆಗೆ ಸಾಧನ ಸಂಪತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ.
ಶ್ರೀಧರನ ಸೇವೆಗೆ ಸಾಧನ ಸಂಪತ್ತಾಯಿತು, ಆದದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಳಿತೇ ಆಯಿತು.
Correct. So all the life's lessons which are so bitter for us, ಎಲ್ಲ ಉಳಿತೆ ಆಯಿತು. All the bitter things the bitter pills we have to swallow in life, they all help for Sridharana Seve. Very beautiful. So thanks, Padmaja, for correcting that. That is Tulsidas story, and fortunately, because you said that, the Mugti story also came out, which is Purandaradasa story. And these were all, you can't call them the vilest sinners, but they were extremely selfish and myopic people, who were completely consumed by ahankara and mamakara. But here God is saying, even the vilest sinners who worship me with exclusive devotion. We have the example of Ratnakara, who turned into Valmiki. And then we have the Angulimala story and the Dundukari story that I narrated. All extremely violent sinners. And they, in a moment, they were all very the last bit was remaining for them. So they're born as an extreme, all the prarabdha is burnt off with their extreme nature, and then they become completely 180 degrees opposite. They'll turn out to be, they'll be released from the world, they'll get moksha. Yes, you wanted to say something, Padmaja?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Angulimala, what was he called after, later? Any idea?
Some Buddhist monk he was, I'm not sure. Not sure. So Angulimala chased Buddha, alva, because he wanted to cut the finger and put it across his claim to fame was, I have killed so many people. And then and because of that, he used to wear that Angulis. And then, so Buddha was walking away, and Angulimala said, Stop, you man, stop. So Buddha said, I stopped long ago. When will you? Just one sentence. And that was electrifying for Angulimala. And he fell at Buddha's feet. So beautiful. I stopped long ago. When will you stop? See that implication of that one sentence. So beautiful. So the bottom line is, God is not a punitive God. Our God is not, he doesn't give punishments. All the punishments are our own of making. Our own karmas will give us the punishment. For all our, the law of cause and effect will operate. God is not punitive. That is the bottom line. And so what do we do with the guilt? We started with how guilty we feel sometimes during the day, because according to my own standards, I have thoda erred from the path or whatever. Even that guilt, I offer it to God. That is what Ramakrishna says. Even the guilt, you offer it to God. After all, what does he say in one of the previous shlokas? Prakrute kriyamanani gunai sarvani karmashah. There are 3 gunas that all of us have. All of us have or born with. God has given sattva, rajas, tamas. In different proportions, these sattva, rajas, tamas is acting in each of us, isn't it? So what do I do with the guilt? It's born out of some tamasic, some rajasic quality. So I offer it to God. Ashte. And therefore, let us not keep our minds on our miserable little self, which is full of guilt. Let us keep it on God. God will show the way. The moment you say, God, I don't know what to do, the moment you remember God in any fashion, he will show the way. Isn't it? So, this bhakti of God is like an armor It will save us from all the little you don't even have to be a vilest sinner. The little pinpricks of life also you'll be protected if you're surrendered to God or remember God at any point of time. That itself is a prayaschitta. That's enough. And there is one more last for Kamala's question. Putta, one nimsha, Putta. One nimsha, Maharaja. Kutkoba ili. There is one Kamala's question I want to answer before we close. Kamala asked, now, this is the right answer, Kamala. What you asked was, how does he say? Sometimes he says, I'm in you, then he says, I'm whatever. They're contradictory statements. Now think of the dream example, Kamala. In the dream example, is everything in your dream? Everything is in your dream, but have you converted? Putta, one nimsha, Maharaja. Kamala, are you getting the example? Are you there? I have dreamt of so many things, but I have not. The dream has come and gone. I am unaffected by the dream. I am totally unaffected by the dream, isn't it? Nothing has happened to me as such. I am the witness. I am just watching a movie. So that's the answer to what God means. He is just a witness of all that is happening. Nothing matters. He is untouched. Okay? Anything else? Hello, hello. Hello.
Hi, Vikrama.
Hello, ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. Tata. Have a good weekend ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡು ಎಲ್ಲಾರ್ಗೆ. Have a good weekend. Thank you all.
ಅವನ ಮುಖ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಇರೋದು. Okay.
Okay, Putta. Tata ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡು ಎಲ್ರಿಗೆ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? Tata. Breakfast ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು ಇವಾಗ. Bye. Bye, people. See you all next week.
Thank you.
One small prayer, Appa.
Yes.
Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you.
Tuesday class.
Thank you all. Thank you, Purnima.
Howdappa? Tuesday.